If you're right-handed, and many people are, you've probably made peace with the idea that your left hand is just going to be worse at the piano. It's the weaker hand, the clumsy hand, the hand that slows everything down. Now, flip-flop that. If you're left-handed, that's what you might feel about the right hand, is it's the one slowing everything down. But I want to push back on that, because what most people experience as left hand or non-dominant hand clumsiness is not really about the hand at all. It's about the brain. And specifically, it's about how the brain handles non-dominant side when the dominant side is doing something demanding. So here's the piece of neuroscience that changes everything for my adult students. There is a structure in the brain called the corpus callosum. It's the bundle of neural fibers that connects the left and right hemispheres. When you're doing something complicated with your right hand, reading fast notes, playing a tricky rhythm, your dominant motor cortex is firing at high intensity. And here's the problem. Some of that signal leaks across the corpus callosum to the other side. Scientists happen to call this neural overflow. Your left hemisphere is shouting, and the right hemisphere hears it. The result is that your left hand, or non-dominant hand, starts mimicking or shadowing or echoing what your other hand is doing, even when you're trying to hold a long note or play something completely independent. It's not clumsiness, it's just crosstalk. Your hands are not yet operating on separate channels. Try this right now if you're at the piano. Play a simple, steady pulse in your left hand, just one note, even, calm. And now try adding your right hand playing something with any kind of rhythmic interest or dynamic variation. Something like, I might play more than one note in my left hand, but watch your left hand. Does the note get louder when the right hand gets louder? Does the rhythm get tighter or more erratic when the right hand has fast notes? Does the held note accidentally get released? If any of that is happening, what you're seeing is neural overflow. You're not dealing with a weak hand. You're dealing with a brain that hasn't yet learned to send separate voltage levels to each side. So if this is happening, or if you've had an experience with this, drop it in the comments below. I would love to hear more about what you're experiencing. The goal is to teach the brain that these are two different streams, two different volumes, two different intentions. The first exercise I like to use is called the ghost and shout. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little snippet of music out of my preparatory level book. And this is a piece by Alexander Godecki, Russian dance. And we're just going to focus on measures 9 through 12. And whoops, let me put that up on the screen so you can see it. All right, so we're going to be looking at these measures right here. If you notice, right hand has a steady melody. It plays bum, 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 and so on. Left hand has half notes that come in, but they're spaced between half rests. And sometimes getting that left hand to let go for the rest can be kind of tricky. But we're going to try the ghost and shout at this point. Basically what that means is I'm going to have you play your right hand, but when it comes to striking the left hand notes, we're not actually going to press the keys hard enough to make a sound. We're going to press them so that you have the physical sensation of them moving, but not the sound. So I'm going to play okay, you could see my left hand ghosting the left hand parts. You didn't actually hear it sound too awfully much, at least. The right hand had a far stronger signal. Basically what we're doing here is we're forcing the biggest possible contrast between the two hands. The brain has to build separate pathways for those two different signals. Now, the second thing is counterintuitive. Practice the left hand alone at a higher volume than you'd ever actually want to use. Make it the loud hand for a while. So basically what you could do is you could play this. You could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm purposely making that a little bit loud and obnoxious. Now you could bring the right hand back in, and typically, because the right hand is melody, we would want it louder and left hand softer. But for the purposes of what we're doing, I'm going to make left hand actually louder. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, I'm making a very strong contrast, and this is going to build neural strength into that pathway, and it's going to give it more resistance against the overflow. So basically, your left hand is not clumsy. Your brain has simply never been asked to run two fully independent channels at once before, and that's a trainable thing. The next time you're frustrated with your left hand, try the ghost and shout exercise for 2 minutes. You'll be surprised how quickly the brain responds when you give it a clear enough contrast. Also, if you would like help with diagnosing any of these problems in your own playing, I've got a link to click below. I'd be more than happy to help you sort some of these things out.